and wing taxi
right
to
for
lease in the
me.
French Quarter, the first New Orleans location in his
I'm
chain's
talking and
growing
I'm hearing
string
it
of wing
from the
joints.
same
And
device.
starting Monday, the LA Wallet app has a new
I'll turn
feature.
this off and
It
just
now
go
lets you
down.
put your hunting and fishing licenses on it, so you don't have to carry a physical copy when you go out.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
This was fun, man.
For your Sunday, going to be a beautiful day. High temperature around 74 degrees with mostly sunny skies. As we go into tonight, another chilly one, upper 50s away from the lake in the metro. We'll see the 61-degree mark probably in the metro itself. And then as you go on the North Shore, low 50s to upper 40s again. Monday, 77 for the high. Still beautiful out there. Mostly sunny skies. Tuesday, 82 with partly cloudy skies, a little bit more humid. And then we'll throw in about a 40 to 50% chance of rain by Wednesday, back in the mid-80s. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWLT meteorologist Peyton Malone.
And I'm Matt Doyle, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, good morning. Albert Nicaud,
and we'll be glad to answer your phone call. And I'll get Albert Nicaud this morning. Good morning, Albert.
Good morning, Doug. Doug Sunseri this morning too.
That's right. Well,
what's going on, man?
We're doing this from you're 40 miles away from each. Well, 50 miles away, so it's like we're still getting used to it.
Now, a big thank you to my brother-in-law Dave and sister-in-law Wendy. They have a great place right here in Waveland, and man, we picked a perfect weekend. The weather was beautiful, and another couple came with us, and we just spent the weekend and had a great time. It's just neat. We walked over to Bay St. Louis, and it's a nice little town. Everybody's walking around, and it's bustling, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm seeing that you're doing it outdoors on the video feed.
I am. The weather's so nice this morning. I'm sitting on the back porch looking at the Gulf. So I guess the Mississippi Sound, really, but yeah, right. Looking at the beach.
Well, the Mississippi Tourist Commission says it's the Gulf, not the Mississippi Sound.
Yeah, and it is. No, it's very nice, and the weather's good. And I've been hearing you on the radio. You've been schooling folks on the hurricane claims, huh?
Yes, on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, and we've been. I suspect that's what we'll be talking about today. So I'm sure.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Because what I wanted to do, we got Alan on the line. We're going to get to him, but I want to get your, I guess where you see these claims are, and a lot of the issues that your clients are address, having, same roofs, tear out, deductibles, those type of things. So let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Alan. Alan's got a question regarding animal control. Hey, Alan, you on All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Yes, I was visiting a friend out of town, and my sister took my dog as a terrier and her dog, a lab, out to a dog park. My dog is a rescue terrier, and he has a serious problem with anyone trying to put a collar over his head. My sister wasn't aware of this, and she was ready to leave the dog park, and my dog went crazy. Someone saw this, apparently called the police. They came out, gave her a ticket for cruelty to animals, and they took both dogs. This is 3 weeks ago. The very next day, I went to the animal shelter, proved that I owned the troublemaker, my terrier, and they released him to me because I owned him, not her. They kept her dog and still have her dog. The ticket is not till the end of December. Animal control, I've emailed, I've contacted them. They said that they can't release the dog to the trial date, which is the end of December. I signed a request also for all of her dog's records from the lab on October 5th, which is 2 weeks ago, and I still haven't received it. So I'm at a complete dilemma. I went to small claims court. I went to first parish court. I went to the parish attorney's office just recently, and they said they can't do anything because there's nothing in the system. So do they keep my dog? Her dog? I bought her dog 2 weeks ago because of her financial and medical issues. So I actually own the dog now, and I have nothing to do with the alleged incident, and neither does the dog.
Okay, where is your ticket? Where do you have the ticket?
First Parish Court, RS 14:102.1I.
Okay, I can't give you, unfortunately, the only advice I'd give you would be, as an attorney, would hire an attorney, which you could do. And, it may be cost prohibitive, it may not. But I would maybe you could file an injunction or some kind of what they call a proceeding to ask the court to release the dog, and you'd have to state in the petition, the occurrences, and you'd have to send it over to animal protection and ask for an immediate release of the dog, pending.
You'd want to file a writ of mandamus directing the head of animal control to release the dog, and of course you'd have to have grounds to do so. So you would need to get whatever kind of reports and anything else that they have on the dog if they're determining that it's dangerous or too dangerous to be released. And of course you'd have to show some sort of ownership of the dog as well, some sort of paperwork or something, or
I have a notarized bill of sale dated October 5th.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I think what Albert's saying.
I mean,
a writ of mandamus, WRIT of mandamus. I'll let Albert spell the second word.
Well, it's MANDAMUS, but it's a writ of mandamus where you are directing a public entity or a director of a public entity to do something, and you're asking the court to do something that they have to do. Now, if it's discretionary and they don't have to do it, then the court may deny the writ because it is only it's kind of a last minute, last resort, I guess, proceeding to force a public official to do something by law that they have to do.
I have three more waiting, Layla, Thomas, and Edward.
The report and the proceedings. Have you gone to animal control, and why are they not releasing the dog?
They claim that they cannot release him until the court date is settled. I've not only went to them in person multiple times, but I've also emailed them. And the email was forwarded to the chief of animal control. I've not received any response from any of them.
Right.
Documentation on everything.
An attorney to make a phone call, write a letter, and let them know that they may have some litigation they have to deal with if they don't pay attention to the request.
So, you have any recommendations of high-powered dog attorneys?
Well, honestly, we've handled a few of those before. We've handled some cases probably about a year or so ago. I remember about a year ago, an attorney in my office handled a case where it was a dog bite case, and the dog got out of the fence and bit somebody. And so the animal control, it was in St. Charles Parish, but they wanted to put the dog down. And so she had to, sign an affidavit, take all these steps to where she'd repair her fence and do all these things. And so we were able to, successfully get the dog back. But it was a little bit of a challenge. But
I had to actually pay $300 2 weeks ago because they only give you 15 days. And if you don't pay them $300 within 15 days, they can auction off the dog or do whatever they want with the dog. So I had to pay that 2 weeks ago.
Might be cheap enough to go to the auction. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Well, it's too late. They already got my $300.
From a pragmatic
yeah, right.
Yeah. All right.
Exactly.
Well, we wish you good luck with the dog, and I'm sure you'll get it back. And maybe somebody from animal control heard this right now, and they'll be familiar before you get there. All right, let's go to
So
phone
you-
lines. Let's go to Leela. It's got a question. Hey, Leela, you on All Things Legal? Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Hello, how are you today?
Good. What do you have for us?
Good morning.
I received a 10-day notice to vacate from my landlord, and I'm living in a large 3-bedroom house, and and I'm the only person there to move, and I'm wondering if I have any recourse because it's impossible to get out of there in 10 days.
Well, are you a month to month? Or do you have a lease?
Yes, I'm on
I asked you 2 questions. I'm sorry. You are month to month?
Yes.
Yeah. So then the law requires that they give you at least 10 days notice prior to the end of the month, which today would be, certainly within that period of time, to get out. And so if you paid rent for this month, you should be able to stay until the end of the month, because if you paid rent for the entire month, they can't kick you out, but they can give you notice 10 days before that month expires for you to vacate the premises. So you might,
if I didn't pay rent because of Ida, then because the house is uninhabitable. The house has as of yesterday, it's got a blue roof and the ceilings are gone. So I'm just trying to rest it to get what I can. And
I would try to find a pod or storage facility and a U-Haul truck and some friends and get it out, because the landlord has the right to take their property back. And the fact that you didn't pay rent, you don't get to stay till the end of the month. And so, my guess is they have a duty actually under their insurance policy to get in there as quickly as possible and mitigate their damages or make their damages less. And so it's likely what they're trying to do is to get in, get it fixed so they can rent it out again. And so I don't know if you have a place to stay
We'll take a break.
or what your relationship now is with your landlord, but you may be able to say, look, if you fix it up in 3 months, I'd like to rent it again. I like my neighbors, I like my neighborhood, whatever. But again, that's something you have to negotiate with the landlord when the time comes.
okay, thank you so much, sir. Have a good day.
Okay, we got to go to a break. It's Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, All Things Legal. We'll be right back after a brief time. We still have Thomas.
WWL is your home team, home of the New Orleans Saints, home of the LSU Fighting Tigers.
All right, we have Thomas waiting New Orleans East, an insurance question. We have Edward from Metairie, who has a tree on his house and wants to know what can be.
Christian Garrick and Mike Detillier, weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. Then game day, turn up the home team. WWL.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BIG870. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code BIG870 to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code BIG870. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
You've heard me say that Ramsey's gives you diamond choices that no one else can give you.
It's not that the other stores won't give you those choices.
They just can't.
Here's a real-world example.
Ramsey's will sell you a 2-carat diamond.
That's a big diamond.
For just $6,495.
$64.95, 2 carats.
You can choose between a 2-carat diamond from a diamond mine
or a 2-carat created diamond.
Compare them side by side, then make your choice.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers, the largest diamond store in Louisiana, on Veterans between Bonneville and West End in Metairie.
At Mike Brenner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't take the weekends off, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck over the weekend, don't wait until Monday to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you you free advice and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait until Monday to call an attorney. Call me, Mike Brandner. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need right now.
Heard correct. Mike Brandner's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond.
Recovering from a hurricane like Ida takes time, patience, and a willingness to work together. At Hancock Whitney, we've got your back with recovery resources, including consumer and small business disaster recovery assistance loans. Visit HancockWhitney.com/Ida to see how we can help during this difficult time. Hancock Whitney Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender. All loans and accounts are subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sandra Kimmerly, an infectious diseases specialist at Ochsner Health. It is important, even if you had COVID-19, for you still to get vaccinated. This Delta variant has changed the game. We know the vaccines work against the Delta variant. I've been vaccinated, as has my entire family, my children, and all my friends. Get the vaccine. It's not too late. Call us if you have any questions. Get the real facts at ochsner.org/vaccine.
If you have an unpaid tax debt to the IRS that you can't pay, please hear this special notice. Specially approved IRS relief programs designed to aid delinquent taxpayers are now in effect that can significantly improve your financial situation. Depending on your circumstances, you may qualify to have your tax problem resolved in your favor and may even have your back taxes reduced by thousands or eliminated entirely.
We'll add Brenda to the list and another tree situation.
For you to call and see if you qualify at 800-256-4180. If you owe the IRS back taxes that you can't afford to
And
pay,
we're going live
don't
right
let the
after
IRS trick you into thinking you have no way out. Our highly accredited tax professionals will let you know what you qualify for and how much you can save. We may be able to stop all liens, garnishments, levies, and save you thousands. Call and see if you qualify for this taxpayer relief at 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. Community Tax. Who's your tax guy?
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. You know, when I hear that, I think of St. Angelo CYO dances. Stairway to Heaven.
Well,
Yeah, you know, that's when you could have the 9-minute slow dance with enough.
Was that Zebra? Was Zebra playing it? Is that what? Yeah.
You were supposed to have enough room to have Jesus in between you, but not always.
Of course, yeah, you got it. Exactly.
No, not at CYO dances though. That was waived. All right. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Thomas, who's got an insurance question. Hey, Thomas, you're on All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Well, good morning. Actually, I got two quick questions.
Okay.
Number one, I got my neighbors have pit bulls in the yard. The fences was knocked down by Ida, and they come in my yard, and I'm kind of afraid of them. And so, what should I do? I mean, there's no fence on both sides. The fence is gone.
I would try to talk to them about getting a temporary fence put up, whether it's just, 10 boards nailed sideways, or, is it down, or is it just like a little section of the fence missing?
Most of it is down. On my side and on their side, most of it is down.
Yeah, then I would demand that it be on some sort of tether or a leash. And if that not be the case, they don't want to be reasonable. If they're not apologetic, if they kind of tell you to pound sand, I would then try to get someone else involved. So there's at least some sort of record of it.
Yeah.
In Orleans Parish, I don't know how
responsive,
briskly they're responding to those things, but that's something you're gonna have to find out.
And one more thing. Well, I got two. Like I said, one more question. But I called the animal control and asked them if they come at me and my wife. We parks in the yard where the fence is at. What should I do? He said, "Do what you got to do." Now I don't know what that means.
Well, I guess you'd be grateful that Orleans Parish answered the phone. That's progress. But that's not good. It's really they should be a little more proactive there. I guess what they're trying to tell you is if they come after you, do what you need to do to protect yourself. And which is it was the kind of advice a Orleans Parish city agency would give when it doesn't want to do its job. All right, that's.
And you can just see the difference in the two parishes, right? The previous caller talked about, they have the dogs and they're going to keep the dogs and take care of the dogs until the issue's resolved. And this in Orleans Parish, do what you have to do. Meaning shoot the dog. I don't know what that means, but
I don't either.
Yeah.
Well, just remember you got an election coming up, so if I guess if you want more of the same, just keep voting for the same people. So, but that's pretty typical. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all.
The second question is the insurance company sent me a list of 21 pages of stuff to do. Now, if I got to call a contractor, I can't show him the paper. I don't want to show him the prices they got because it's very low, and I don't want to show them the papers. But how would I handle that? I can't remember all that,
Well, you can always make a copy of the paperwork and just black out the prices, so at least the contractor will know the scope of work, and then he can give you a price off.
But here's the other thing: I would not depend on the insurance company in its deficient estimate to give the proper scope of work.
Yeah.
So, on the other hand, so I would have the contractor look at the water damage and make his own scope of work based on the hurricane damage and his pricing, and also his, for labor and supplies. So materials. But
I was telling. I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
No, I was telling my wife. I said, "There's no way I can remember all that. It's got at least 7 rooms and in and out. The fence gone, like I was saying about the dog. The fence gone. The roof's gone." And they sent me a list of things to do, but it's not enough money, and it's just too much for one person to remember to tell them everything.
Yeah. Well, I think really the burden's on you to establish damages. The insurance company came in, did an inspection, gave some preliminary damages, and they're basically saying if you want more, you're going to have to establish those damages. It's on you. So what you want to do is you want to get that contractor to establish the damages, and then you submit it to the insurance company and say that the claim that you submitted, thank you very much. You can take that money, you can keep it without recourse, but it's deficient. And here's another estimate that has the true scope of hurricane damages with the correct pricing, correct materials. We ask you to address it. They may or may not address it. If they address it, God bless. If they don't, you may need to get some help.
Yeah, because everything's prorated. I mean, in other words, the fence is like 6, 8, 9, 10 years old. They want to give you enough money to do a 10-year-old fence, and also the roof. Everything's a little older, but I can't.
What they did was depreciated everything. And so what you have to do is try to get a hold of your policy, maybe get somebody to take a look at it for you to see if you have actual cash value replacement on your policy or replacement cost. So in other words, if it's replacement cost coverage, they're going to pay you to replace it as a new item would be, as a new fence would be. But if it's actual cash value, they're only going to pay you the depreciated value of the fence or the house or whatever the case may be. So if it is replacement cost value, they also have a situation where they will pay you the depreciated value and let you get what is called recoverable depreciation, which means after you get it fixed, then they will pay you the difference and you can recover that depreciated amount. So you have to work that out with your contractor. Look, I got this check, get some of the work done. I'll give you this check. And then, when it's finished, the insurance company will pay you the difference. Assuming that the scope is right and the pricing is right.
Also, you got that $7,000 deductible. That's what we got. So
you got to figure out how to get past that as well.
Yeah. But you can handle that if I send you the papers, right?
If you want to call the office and we could send somebody, take a look and see what kind of damages you have, send your claim summary and you know, how much did they say they wanted to pay you?
Well, they want to give us $34,000, with $7,000 is depreciated. So
Right.
I got at least $60,000, twice as much damage because they got everything. They even want us to take the popcorn roof ceiling down in the house, and I told my wife, but they got to insulate everything they got. It's going to cost way more money than they want to give us. That's the problem.
Correct. Yeah. Call the office. Ask for Doug or Albert, and we can get somebody over there to take a look at it, and work something out.
Okay, I sure will, and I thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for the call.
Sir.
Let's go to Edward's got a question regarding a tree. Hey, Edward, you're on All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Good morning. I have a neighbor who has
a break after
very
this.
large tree. It's 35, 40 years old, and it has died. So if that tree takes and parts of it breaks off, or the tree falls in my direction, it'll take and damage some of my property. What should I do?
All right, I would suggest that you contact the guy in writing. If you've already talked to him about it and nothing's getting done, I would send a letter to him, and actually you got his email address, and email him or send him something in writing to show that he got it. Basically saying, look, you have a diseased tree, branches are continually falling. I'm putting you on notice that you need to get this removed. I would ask that you contact me within the next 2 weeks to make a plan to get it trimmed off of my property or get it removed completely. And if nothing happens at that point, you can take photographs of the tree and everything else. And what parish are you in?
Jefferson.
Yeah, in Jefferson Parish, you would go to the Justice of the Peace and demand, file a claim against the guy. Say, look, I've sent him a letter, email, whatever. I've put him on notice about the tree. We've got, here are photographs of dead branches, and I want to get an arborist to take a look at it and have him remove it before it causes damages or even personal injuries to my property or people in my home. And they can force him to remove that tree.
Okay. I didn't know if there was some, like code enforcement or something like that I should contact.
I don't know that code enforcement is going to get involved with that. I think it's more of an issue that you might have to go to the Justice of the Peace and have them get involved if you can't work it out. Obviously, the first advice is always to try to work it out with your neighbor and have good relations, etc. But if that fails and you're concerned that it's going to fall in your house, then you have to take other steps.
All right, thanks for the call. We got to go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, All Things Legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
WWL is your home team, home of the New Orleans Saints, home of the LSU Fighting Tigers, home of Bobby Hebert, Deuce.
Okay, I have Brenda from Desper had another tree question, and we have Bruce from Bush, and he has an open-ended roofing contract that he'd like some advice on.
On air, online.
I have another call coming in.
WWL.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Rich Eisen from Monday Night Football on Westwood One, here with a preview of a great matchup between two AFC division leaders. From Nashville, Derrick Henry and the Titans take on Josh Allen and the 4-1 Bills. Buffalo's coming off an impressive win over the Chiefs last week, but Allen reminds us that was just week 5.
4 wins doesn't get you into the playoffs. We came into a hostile environment, played a really good team, ended up with a win, and that's our goal each and every week. There's still a whole lot of football left in this season, and we got to continue to stack.
All right, we have Chris added to the list from Metairie, and he has wants some information on roofing scams that are going around. We have Jimmy from Gretna, and he has a question about the evacuation order.
NFL all season long, right here on the all-new Hot 92.9.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your headlights are getting dim? With the seasons changing, now's a great time to change them. Upgrading your headlights can ensure you'll be safe and ready to handle darkness and fog. Oh, and we recommend replacing in pairs. That way you won't have uneven lighting over time. You can get all of your lighting needs fast with our next day delivery and free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to PrilosecOTC.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started, plus 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to PrilosecOTC.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Used as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
This year, give her what she really wants. Diamond stud earrings from Oakland Heart. When she sees that Oakland Heart box, she'll know they're the best.
We will add John from Eden Isles, and he was overpaid, he thinks, for flood insurance. What should he do with the excess cash?
A life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790 for $1 million in term life insurance.
One more and we go live.
Call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
Your life, your hopes, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m. It's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. Albert, you heard Big Lou on the commercial, huh? The last commercial?
I did.
I think he hangs out at the Caddyshack.
Yeah, which of course is right next door to our office.
Yeah, I think he hangs. I think Michelle had his first wife in a divorce, and he cleaned them out. So he's still working hard later in life. So, all right, let's go to phone lines. Let's go. We're going to Brenda in Destrehan, which Destrehan was just wiped out by the hurricane. She's got a tree issue. Hey, Brenda, you on All Things Legal.
Good morning, Albert and Doug, and thank you for all your service. I'm a compatriot of Edward and Jefferson because I also have an issue with a leaning tree. During the storm, this huge tree, it's like 100 feet tall. It's a junk tree. It's leaning at like a 45-degree angle, and then it stopped. And it's sitting there. And the roots are halfway out of the ground and halfway in the ground. And I think your advice to Edward applies to me too, to send the guy a notice. But the neighbor is like, it's not on my property. It's not my problem. And he's been kind of a not very good neighbor. My real question was, at what point is it not an act of God if that tree falls when it's leaning so severely? He should be on notice. I mean, I agree with sending him a letter and taking photos. I've already taken photos. But at some point, isn't he liable? Because it's leaning so far. It's pushed the fence over. The roots are out of the ground. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, right. So an act of God means I've got a tree there. I've not been put on notice of any problem. Obviously there is no problem with the tree. There are no visible roots. It's not leaning at 45 degrees, etc. So the act of God defense flies right out of the window when that happens. And so that's why, my advice to the previous caller and to you is to document your request to have it repaired. Let it be very clear that he has been put on notice for the danger that this tree might pose. And so it makes him liable at that point, not just to remove the tree, but in the event there are any damages resulting from the tree falling. So if he's saying, it's not my tree, but if the roots and the trunk are on his side of the property line, then it certainly is his tree. That's the source.
Well, clearly it's his tree. It's just leaned so far, the entire tree is, except for the roots and the base that still are attached to the ground, that's on his property. I mean, it's clear, and I have pictures from before the tree leaned. But the other issue is I would have done great in the storm, except for people around me with tall trees that they didn't care for. They all fell on me and my property, but I'm doing okay. Thank goodness. I'm very grateful for that. But he has other trees that have affected other neighbors, like a pine tree that broke in half and it's sitting in a neighbor's yard. The neighbor doesn't want to mess with it. He won't mess with it. And I was going to call code enforcement because guess what? That's now a snake pit back there with all these branches pushed in a pile.
Something else that a lot of people are unaware of. When a tree falls in someone else's yard, if it causes damage and the homeowner didn't know that there was a problem with the tree prior to a storm, the homeowner is not liable for the damage. However, because it's the owner's tree, he is responsible for getting it out of your yard. So if you make a demand on him to remove it from your yard and he doesn't, then, for instance, the pine tree in the neighbor's yard, and he doesn't remove that tree, you can bring an action against him to pay the cost to have that tree removed from the yard because it is his tree and it's his property that he has in your yard that he have to remove. So I'm fixing to deal with a neighbor myself. My daughter had a tree fall on her property on a flat roof and caused some damage, and I went to my insurance company for that damage. But the cost to remove that tree was about $2,500. It was a big live oak. And so I'm going to present that neighbor with that bill. Now, what he can do is turn that over to his insurance company as a liability claim, that it was a liability for his tree falling on someone else's yard. And so he can present it to them, and they should pay that under the liability, not under the hurricane, so he'd have no deductible.
Okay. All right, last question. This one really problem neighbor directly behind me with all these tall trees, there's still a bunch of really tall trees. They've had a crew cut, but they're tall. Now I'm really concerned. I never was concerned that they'd fall and hit my house, which I'm probably 70 feet from the property line, but he's got really tall trees. Is there anything I can do? Because I'm just sitting here, I'm a sitting duck waiting for the next storm. Like, he doesn't even live in the house. This is a house he bought and he's putting together to sell for profit, and apparently taking the homestead exemption to boot, which he shouldn't. Is there anything I can do to get, offer to get a bucket truck to chop off the tops of his trees? He's not going to agree to that, but.
Well, there's no law against tall trees, right? There's no law against having tall trees. In fact, it enhances the neighborhood and provides shade and all those wonderful
Let's do a break after this.
What you may be able to do is have an arborist come take a look and, see the tree that did fall and whether they're diseased, whether they're termite ridden. And so, they have the expertise to say, hey, look, if this tree was riddled with termites and hollowed out from the inside, chances are the other trees in the yard are the same thing. And I'm sure there are tests to be able to drill into the trunk or whatever to find that out. So,
and he's cut trees, and you can see the big holes in the middle of the trees that have fallen that are sitting in his yard. So I took pictures of that because it's clear the trees have problems. Most of them are junk trees that have just grown over the years.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sure he doesn't want to
I
spend
like
the money.
arborist idea.
Cutting trees is a pretty big expense right now. They're getting a premium for them.
All right.
So.
Correct.
Well, Brenda, thanks for the call. Wish you best luck.
Thank you.
Dodging those trees, and we got to go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. We'll be right back after this brief comment.
Right now, you're hearing all your favorite music on your favorite station. But wait, there's more.
More songs from the artists you love on exclusive stations.
Okay, here's what the list looks like so far. Bruce from Bush has a question about a roofing contract. We have Chris from Metairie. Also, about roofing scams is his question. We have Jimmy from Gretna, who has a question about the evacuation order. And John from Eden Isle, and he thought he was overpaid for his flood insurance. And what should he do with that extra cash?
Customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total.
I told him I'd take it.
Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BIG870. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code BIG870 to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code BIG870. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
When our Saints hit the field, they're prepared. They've got a plan. They've got a playbook. What's your retirement playbook? Whether you're already retired,
we'll have about 6.5 minutes till the top of the hour.
The playbook can help you get ready. Get your free copy of the retirement playbook right now. Visit saintsretirementplaybook.com. That's saintsretirementplaybook.com. Brought to you by Presley Wealth Management, the official wealth management partner of the New Orleans Saints.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And everything's included: rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give back at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
So here we go again. Since Hurricane Katrina, the insurance companies have been raising our premiums and raising our deductibles. But now when we need our insurance payments to rebuild our homes and rebuild our lives, they're denying our claims and lowballing our estimates. This is Albert Nicaud, the Nicaud and Sunseri law firm in Metairie. Let us put our team of licensed contractors, roofers, and public adjusters to work for you so you can get your home and life back in order. Call me, Albert Nicaud, at 504-837-1304, and I'll make your insurance company accountable.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
It's pretty bad.
Okay, go live right after this spot.
You want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently.
I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. Albert, it's nice not needing to fill time, especially in the first quarter.
Yeah, right. I'll be here for the first hour, right? Hey, and all that trouble you give me for having tree knowledge is paying off finally, right?
Well, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do a follow-up, a sequel to your original treatises.
To my book.
For your book, Hurricane Ida.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Bruce. Got a question regarding roof contracts. Hey, Bruce, you and all things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've got a roofer from Metairie that's from my home in Mandeville, and it's open-ended. It allows the roofer to negotiate with my insurance company. I'm wondering, it's going to be well over $25,000. I think that's what you said. You should record the contract if it's over $25,000.
Actually, no. So that law was changed in 2020, and basically it's $100,000 now in terms of recording a contract. So the licensed contractor, in order to file a lien, and that's really for their protection. But they if it's more than $100,000, a licensed contractor would have to file a notice of contract prior to commencement of any of the work, and that will lessen the time that any subcontractors would have to lien the property. But it would also protect that general contractor or the roofing contractor to be able to allow that person to file a lien on your property in the event of non-payment. Let me ask you,
so I don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to fool with any of that. But is the roofer from Metairie licensed? Have you checked that out?
Yes, he is licensed. He's got a license number 84-180. So he's on Causeway Boulevard. Should I check that out to see? Yeah,
Hello? But you can go to the Louisiana State Board for Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, and it just says find a contract, and you click on it, and it'll say or whether they're licensed, whether they're not, and you got to play with that site a little bit, because if it's P&J Roofing, you might have to type in the P period, if it's an ampersand or the word and or the letter P with no period or P&J together. Try different combinations. It's not that savvy in terms of picking those things up.
It's got a full structure. It's got a name. Sorry. Thank you so much. So just check that out, and I don't have to record this contract.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Right,
well, thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call, Bruce. I guess we got about a minute. Let's go to Chris. He's got concerns regarding roofing scams. Got about a minute, about 2 minutes, Chris. What you got for us?
Sure, I'll try to be quick. Sure, I'll try to be quick here. Just with all the guys, contractors, maybe not legitimate, that are in town to make a quick buck. What are some of the roofing, scams that these guys use, either through insurance or to the homeowner directly, in terms of whether high pressure sales tactics, or something along the lines of overestimating and overbilling insurance. Can you touch on that for just a minute?
Well, I think one of the scams that's occurring is the roofers come in and say, we'll pay what the insurance company will pay. And then if the insurance company doesn't pay, there's a fine print in the language of the contract that says, if the insurance company doesn't pay our full scope of work, then you have to, you're the homeowner's personally responsible for it. And so that's one of the issues I've heard was, you got to read the contract.
They'd be entitled to that. I mean, if the cost of the roof is X, you've got deductibles, you've got this, you've got that. So I think one of the bigger issues that you got to worry about is paying them up front and paying them, hey, look, you want to get in line? We're very busy, but look, if you pay us $5,000, give us a deposit, we'll put you in the front of the line and we'll see you next week. And people are doing that. And look, once again, like we told the last caller, check to see if they're licensed. If they're not licensed or if they're not from here, don't use them. Do not use them, because you know what? They got a cell phone and a truck. And so if you ever want to find them again, if there's ever a warranty, if there's ever any issue with, the way it was reinstalled, you're on your own. And you're getting the double whammy. And we saw it over and over and over. It kept me busy for years suing contractors after Katrina that were just scamming people. And so, but those are the kind of, like you said, the pressure techniques and tactics. Hey, give me money up front, give me cash, give me this, we'll work it out. Make sure they have a written contract, review the contract, and not just some handwritten estimate. Hey, we'll put your roof on for X. Well, what type of shingles and what's the warranty on the shingles? And I want to see it. I want to see the pallet of shingles that show up. Those are the kinds of things that you want to look for. It's on you to take care of yourself and make sure you're not being scammed. So I know you want to get your house fixed and your roof fixed, but you got to take those steps because it'll do it in the long run.
The guys I've run across are all wanting 50% up front before they can get the materials there. And
we're at 1 minute.
Get on the list, quote unquote.
Yep. And again, that's the kind of thing you might want to say, look, you bring the materials to my house, I'll give you 50% right now. You finish the job, I'll give you other 50%. But I'm not going to give you 50%, put it in your bank account, and you don't see me. Yeah, I'm going to get to you in 2 more weeks. Oh, you know what? It's going to be 3 more weeks. It's going to be 5 more weeks. Meanwhile, they got your 50%, and you're stuck because you don't have the money to pay somebody else.
Sure. All right, I appreciate it.
All right, Chris. Thanks for the call. Man. Boy, that was quick. Hour number 1. Stay tuned. We've got several callers on hold. We're going to national news, local news. We'll be back in about 10 minutes and all things legal for hour number 2. So stay tuned. See you in about 10 minutes.
The News Talk Sports Powerhouse. WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Prices are going up due to pandemic-related labor shortages and supply chain problems. CBS's Lilia Luciano reports.
The cost from point of origin to the destinations have gone up 10 times in the last 12 months.
University of Southern California global supply expert Nick Valles says consumers will bear the brunt, especially lower-income Americans.
That gap will widen.
Families across the country starting to receive their October child tax credits, and they've been a saving grace for many in need.
Wages might have increased or they might have gone back to work, but food prices, are growing at the same rate. And so people are struggling.
Tina Postal is a community leader in Jackson, Mississippi. Some of the largest cities in the country fighting their own local governments over vaccine mandates, including in Chicago.
The head of the local police union urged officers to defy Friday's deadline to report their vaccination status. A judge has now barred him from making more statements about the mandate.
Weeks after they were removed from a camp at the southern border, Haitian migrants are still in desperate straits. Here's CBS's Allison Keyes.
Many are still risking dangerous journeys to get to the U.S. to seek asylum. Tanisha Santil at the nonprofit Haitian Bridge Alliance says this proves their desperation.
I just really hope people would stop to think, wow, it must really be that bad.
Hollywood dodges what could have been a bad situation as both sides reach an agreement.
The strike really put into focus the needs of what you can call Hollywood's essential workers.
Variety's Cynthia Littleton referring to those behind the camera workers. Netflix is being criticized for airing the latest special by Dave Chappelle. Critics say The Closer includes many homophobic and anti-trans jokes. Matt Donnelly, also with Variety, says they can be very damaging.
In the case of trans people specifically, they have a shocking fatality rate that they believe is often perpetuated by harmful content like these jokes.
The show has been streamed 10 million times. A woman allegedly raped on a moving train outside Philadelphia. More from KYW TV reporter Matt Petrillo.
It's getting bad out here. Police say a woman reported she was raped on the inbound L train. Investigators also say the attack happened while others were standing around on the train and, quote, did nothing. A police officer later found the suspect on the train partially clothed near the victim.
Minneapolis is using a community-based violence interrupters program.
Our presence is showing our love for the community, and it's also deterring crime from happening.
The program follows last year's police killing of George Floyd. This is CBS News.
Today, better nutrition and great taste are more important than ever. That's why Eggland's Best gives you and your family more. And that's healthy news for everyone. Only Eggland's Best.
Hundreds of thousands of people have said goodbye to their overpriced Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile plans and switched to Pure Talk. This is CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Did you know Pure Talk gives you the same great coverage on the same great 5G network as one of the big guys for about half the cost? The average family is saving over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone, or get huge discounts on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. Go to puretalk.com and shop for the plan that's right for you. Use their savings calculator to see exactly how much your family will save. They've got a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. Just go to puretalk.com and enter promo code MONEY and save an additional 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code MONEY.
WWL First News, I'm Matt Doyle on your official weather station, WWL AM/FM and .com.
Going to be a beautiful Sunday. High temperatures only get up to around 74 degrees. Our average high 81. So we are well below average with our high temperature. That cooler air means drier air, so no humidity today. And do expect a lot of sunshine early on with a few upper level clouds building in later on through the day.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone with the good news. And a huge fire broke out last night around 11 p.m. at the Old Market Street Wharf in New Orleans, burning for several hours before it was finally tamped down. The fire stretched 4 blocks long at its peak and lit up the area through the night. Video from people across the river in Algiers shows the bright orange light was still near blinding on the West Bank. 16 New Orleans Fire Department units were dispatched to the scene. Despite the almost apocalyptic scenes, thankfully, no one was reported injured. We still don't know exactly, though, why the wharf caught fire. That's under investigation. And a man was shot dead last night in New Orleans on the 1800 block of Turow Street. EMS responded to the call and pronounced him dead on the scene. No further details are available. And hundreds of law enforcement officers led a funeral procession yesterday in Baton Rouge.
Well, last Saturday, Louisiana State Trooper Adam Gobert was shot and killed in Prairieville as a man went on a multi-pair shooting spree. Yesterday, a funeral procession was held for Trooper Gobert. He was a 19-year veteran of the force. Following a day-long manhunt last Saturday, 31-year-old Matthew Muir was arrested for killing Gobert. Officials say Gobert was ambushed while he was in his patrol car. Muir was also suspected of shooting 4 other people.
WWL TV's Paul Dudley. A NOLA.com ProPublica report says a Jefferson Parish Sheriff's deputy is being investigated by Internal Affairs over a September 20th incident where he slammed a black pavement several times while holding her by her braids. Video of the incident has gone viral and is available on our website, WWL.com. We've reached out to JPSO for comment on the matter from Sheriff Joe Lapinto. And starting Monday, Hunting and fishing licenses will be available digitally on the LA Wallet app. And as of 7 a.m. this morning, the city of New Orleans has resumed parking enforcement. That means if you're illegally parked right now somewhere in the city, you should move your car before you get ticketed. And here's Christian Garrick with WWL Sports.
How about them Tigers? The Bayou Bengals win over 20th-ranked Florida 49-42 in yet another wild one in Death Valley. The Gators driving, hoping to tie the game, and then this happened.
Goes back 5 steps. Here comes pressure. Throws off his back foot, and it is intercepted! Damone Clark has it at the 35-yard line!
The Tigers' defense feasted on Gators' signal callers, eating up 4 interceptions. The seat has cooled down a bit for Coach O. LSU is back in action next Saturday against Ole Miss in Oxford. The New Orleans Saints are off today, enjoying their much-needed bye week in Week 6. Christian Garrick, WWL Sports.
Saints going to be getting a lot of good players back from injury when they return next week.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Okay, we have 3 holding. Jimmy from Gretna, Jerry from Homa, and Bob from Metairie. John
temperatures will get to around
from
74
Eden
degrees with
left the
mostly
building.
sunny skies. Another great day to be outdoors. Tonight into Monday morning will be another chilly one with temperatures in the 40s and 50s.
He took his money with him.
60s in the metro, about like we are this morning. Monday afternoon, still nice, 77 with partly cloudy skies. Tuesday, 82 with partly cloudy skies, a little bit more humid. And then Wednesday is when we'll throw in about a 40 to 50% chance of showers, high around 83. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone.
And I'm Matt Doyle, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakwinard Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back for hour number 2. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you can lawyers, all things legal. You can call us at 260-1870 at the Oakland Park Jewelers Talk and Text line, or you can text us at that number. And but we have so many calls right now, so we'll just get right to them. Let's go to Jimmy. Jimmy, on All Things Legal, you got a question regarding the evacuation order.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
Yeah. My question is this. Okay, so what was it? Almost between a month and a half and 2 months now since the storm. Like most people around here, we evacuated. We kept our receipts for, travel expenses, hotel stays, and whatnot. We live in Jefferson Parish, me and my wife. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong here. We kept everything religiously. Kept it in a manila folder. We, when the dust settled on everything, we didn't immediately put a claim in with the insurance company because I know they were overwhelmed. Waited a little while. From what I understand, that Jim Donnellan, I guess the guy in charge, the insurance commissioner of Louisiana, he said, and I don't know if this is fact or it was more of a threat. He said something along the lines of every insurance company is going to have to pay for evacuation costs, basically, right? Or something along the lines of if they don't, there might be a penalty for that.
He issued a directive, and he would have the authority to fine insurance companies. He would have that authority. Whether he would do that or not, it's a different question. But he issued a directive saying, pay the evacuation expenses.
Which insurance?
Is your insurance company, do they have a commercial with a guy with a red shirt and Aaron Rodgers plays guitar?
No,
it's not that.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no. No, it's a company called UPC Insurance. They're not, it's the homeowners insurance. You've heard of them. All right. Anyway, so yeah, and I mean, maybe I'm wrong here. And the way the wording of everything is, okay, so when they said either you go through FEMA or you go through your homeowners insurance, if you're lucky enough to own a home, I guess I figured it was like this, Doug. If you're lucky enough to own a home in this world, and you have homeowners insurance, go through your homeowners insurance. So when I did, basically, they told me, look, a lot of it's not covered. Maybe your hotel expenses, but like, say, your fuel receipts on the road when you're driving out of town, not covered. And they also said that's going to go to your deductible, which, of course, is high. And honestly, I'm not going to reach my deductible. So in essence, because the deductible is more than any little damage I put in my claim and the evacuation cost for me and my family, it's on me. So am I wrong here to think that they're kind of screwing me over, pardon my French? Because I figured the wording was, hey, if you're covered, you're covered. It wasn't like, well, you got to meet your deductible to get covered.
You want to take that, Albert?
Well, one of the things I would do, I just heard Jim Donelon talk about, I want to say they're like 300 homeowners insurers now. He's done a great job in getting smaller companies to come in and write coverage here. Changing a few rules, making it a little more attractive for them to come in. Before, when we were dealing with Hurricane Katrina, Louisiana Citizens, which was the insurance company of last resort, it's kind of a quasi-state company, they handled a very large percentage of the claims because that's how much was written through Citizens. Now they have many more carriers coming in. Just Wednesday or Thursday, I think it was Thursday, he said that there were 42 companies that were paying the civil authority to evacuate. And so you might want to contact their office and find out if your company is one of those companies. And then at that point, you got to look at your policy to see whether or not the deductible would apply to civil authority or whether that falls outside of it and it's really just for the damages.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So what you have to do, ultimately, most people you have to do in all cases is read the policy to see if the deductible applies to your civil authority or not. Insurance policies are like cars. Some are Yugos, some are Corollas, and some are Cadillacs, and everything in between.
Oh yeah.
So you got to see. A lot of times we don't know if our insurance policy is a Yugo or it's a Cadillac until we pull it out after a hurricane. So read your policy and see if now if the deductible doesn't apply. I would say with UPC, my impression would be it would apply. Okay, but you could check it out for yourself.
Okay.
And
all right. Thank you.
If the deductible does apply, you might be out of luck.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Jerry in Homa. Hey, Jerry, you on all things
Jerry
legal?
just left.
No, let's go to Bob then. Hey, Bob, you on all things legal?
Hello?
Bob, you're on. What you got for us, brother?
Okay. I don't have a hurricane problem, and quickly I'll tell you why. Because I have a generator. I stayed in town. I listened to WWL religiously. I had nothing else. All of my questions were answered, and the public officials that were involved did a fantastic job, as well as WWL. So I don't have a hurricane problem. This is a problem regarding separate property. And basically, my wife passed away. My first wife passed away 11 years ago. And when she did, we set up trusts for the children. In other words, everything was set up. The taxes were taken care of. And so my children are taken care of. My current wife was divorced, and she has separate property. I have separate property, and it's a bunch of stuff. She has some rental property. I do. Accounts at Schwab, all of this. So I'm not obviously not looking for detailed estate planning advice, but the question I have is, can I draw up a legal document that would list all of my separate property, all of my wife's separate property, have her sign it and me sign it, and that way avoid any squabbles with either of us sets of children?
In essence, you'd be doing a prenuptial agreement. In a prenuptial agreement, part of it would be confirming what's separate and what's not. The second part is if you have interest and fruits from during the existence of your marriage, is that separate or community?
Well, that's all. Well, the income off of separate property is community. I understand that. So basically, I can set up
Jerry
a
is back.
nuptial agreement. It's not a prenup because I've been married for 7 years.
Well, you can do a you can do a post say it's supposed
Yeah,
to be.
it's active paraphernalia.
If my wife's not listening, but she would tell me, it's basically a contract that you file with the mortgage and conveyance records confirming y'all's the separateness of the property. It's a
Correct. It's called an active paraphernalia.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Thank you.
Right.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, because my children understand trust and stuff because they're involved in them. But my wife's children do not, and that's where I'm concerned about somebody not understanding trust and thinking, if we do this or do that. So that document filed would do the job.
That would do the job.
Correct. We'll be doing a big favor to the attorney handling your estate.
That would be
and saving a lot.
All right.
Exactly. Okay, right. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Let's go to an early break, so we can take the next round call. So this is Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. We'll be right back after this brief comment.
WWL is your home team, home of the New Orleans Saints, home of the LSU Fighting Tigers, home of Bobby Hebert, Deuce McAllister, and Mike Hoss. For all pro analysis of the teams you love, catch Sports Talk with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier, weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. Then game day, turn up the home team. WWL.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life.
Okay, I've got two holding. I got Steve, Jerry from the West Bank. He has got a question about his insurance company. And I have Steve
and work to fit you into a term
from
life
the West
policy
Bank.
that you can afford.
I'm sorry.
Remember,
Steve from Texas,
he's on meds
who is an
too.
attorney,
Call
who has some information that he wants to disseminate here, I do believe.
2790.
So that is Jerry from Homa Insurance and Steve from Texas.
It's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Hello, I'm Mel Levesque, owner of Apron Agencies. Our team of local licensed insurance agents understand the Medicare health insurance plans in the local area. So for all of your Medicare questions this annual enrollment period, visit us at apronagencies.com like you're wearing a kitchen, apronagencies.com.
Kevin Kugler and Ron Jaworski here from Westwood One with a preview of Monday Night Football. From Nashville, we'll have the call as Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and the Titans play host to the Buffalo Bills. Ron, Tennessee is playing well and leading the AFC South, but the Bills come in looking for their 5th straight win.
Kevin, the Buffalo Bills, after a big win against the Kansas City Chiefs, right now look like the best team in the AFC. They are playing complete football. Obviously, Josh Allen having a terrific
season. We're going live after Ramses and some diamonds.
And, man, if you have to go up to Buffalo late in the season, it's going to be a rough way to win.
That's for sure. But coming up, they face the Titans in primetime on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on the all-new Hot 92.9.
Did you know the arrow in Amazon's logo represents A to Z? Maybe the My Computer Career logo should represent unemployed to employed. Ryan was out of work when he started classes in March. In September, he started his IT career, working for Amazon, making more money than he ever thought possible. Here's a prime opportunity. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to prilosecotc.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started, plus 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to PrilosecOTC.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
You've heard me say that Ramsey's gives you diamond choices that no one else can give you.
It's not that the other stores won't give you those choices.
They just can't.
Here's a real-world example.
Ramsey's will sell you a 2-carat diamond.
That's a big diamond.
For just $6,495.
$64.95, 2 carats.
You can choose between a 2-carat
Jerry
diamond
from Homa and
or a
Steve from
2-carat
Texas.
created diamond.
Compare them side by side, then make your choice.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers, the largest diamond store in Louisiana, on Veterans between Bonneville and West End in Metairie.
All things legal on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. That's Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, lawyers, all things legal on WWL.AMFM.com. Also, I know our phone lines are packed. If you can't get to us today or we aren't able to get to you, you can call us at a law firm at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304, or on the North Shore at 985-624-9697. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Jerry. He's got a question in Homa. Hey, Jerry. You and all things.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Good, good.
Hello?
You're on, brother.
Okay.
What you got for us?
All right, thank you, sir. Well, let me explain. Okay, so, of course, at 46, 40, whatever, how many days, I have insurance through Occidental. My adjuster came out on the 6th of September. I got my report a couple weeks later. He noted that basically I got to change all the insulation in the roof, of course, the insulation, the ceiling tiles, and the floors. He did moisture readings, but didn't put any of that in the report. So then the other day, I noticed I checked the wall and noticed I had water in the wall. I went to get my own water meter. So I contacted a mitigation company, and them and myself have been contacting my insurance company. They refuse to answer emails and will not let me know if I can get these people to do work or not. I mean, I just don't know where to turn anymore, Doug.
All right. Well, the first thing I would do is you get your estimate. You're going to have to quantify the damage because they're probably not going to address it if you say, "Can I work on these walls that are wet?" Because it's not quantified to a dollar amount. So what you probably want to do, first of all, is get a comprehensive estimate from the roof on down.
Okay.
And then you submit that to them. And at that point, there's laws in place where they have to respond to it within a 30 or 60-day period. There's 2 different laws on what's not disputed. Okay. Now, when you submit it by email where they verify you can get it, or certified mail. And
okay.
So you're going to have to quantify the damages and throw the ball in their court. Because you got to think of it this way. They're like a hockey goalie at this point. Every time you flip the puck at them, they're going to throw it back. They're going to flip it back at you. Okay. So what you have to do is quantify these damages to the penny. And that's tough at times, but whether.
Well, I mean, just get a contractor right now is like pulling teeth.
Right. Now, there's public adjusters. There's contractors who do that. And we can give you a couple of names of some who could do that, but all fair. But if you want to, you have to quantify these damages. It would be better to quantify these damages in an Xactimate program, computer program, the same ones the insurance companies use. And at that point, once they receive that, they have to play ball now. They have to either decide what
they're on the clock.
They have to decide what portion of the estimate they don't dispute, and they're supposed to pay it out within the 30, 60 days. If they don't pay it out within 30 or 60 days, then you have to go to the next level. Then you have a claim for penalties and attorney's fees under, a couple of different statutes. And then you get in a mediation with them, which you would have to later. If you have them set up for penalties and attorney's fees, your payout would probably be a lot bigger than it would otherwise.
All right. Listen, here's the problem too, and I've been meaning to kind of talk about this. That there's something called Xactimate, right? And that's one of the main programs, but there are many programs out there that are very similar. And you probably got a claim summary, and it goes down to baseboards and doorknobs and resetting doors. It's very, very very meticulous and detailed. So
I did.
Okay, by virtue of what the insurance, it's not their fault, but what the insurance companies have to do, they have a certain period of time to give you an estimate. They got to come in and get that estimate on the street, and they got to get some money on the street, right? Because the law requires them to do that. Well, these Xactimate type programs, they're updated every month in terms of pricing for labor and materials. So if you got your claims summary done in September, yours was September 6th. So if you got somebody came and looked at it in September 6th and evaluated it and plugged it into Xactimate, Xactimate was still using August numbers. And we didn't have a hurricane until August 29th, which means those numbers that they plugged in were last month's numbers. They did not account for the lack of materials, the lack of labor, the high cost of materials, and everything else that we're dealing with now. So by virtue of what just the process and what they had to do, just about every estimate out there is going to be at least 20 or 30% too low. And so it behooves everyone out there to ask for them to come back out and reevaluate it and get a supplement. And so to do that, you're going to have to get a contractor or a roofer or whatever to come out and give you those estimates. Ideally, somebody that speaks their language and will do an Xactimate type estimate, and then they'll plug in those numbers now, and based upon what you're able to get it done for. And those numbers are going to be higher and probably more comprehensive. Now, some of these guys are great. These outside adjusters, they come in, they get paid on what they write, so they want to try to find things. But some of them were trained 3 weeks ago, and right after the storm, they decided, hey, I want to go make some money and be a public adjuster. So they spent 4 days in a class, not a public adjuster, but adjusted for an insurance company. And they were a school teacher before, or counselor or whatever, and didn't have any experience in construction or estimating. So you're at it's pot luck, right? Right. But you owe yourself the opportunity to have it reevaluated by a contractor to get what you deserve, get what you paid for with your policy. And some insurance companies might say, yeah, you're right, here you go, or give you something a little bit shy of that in settlement or whatever. But others may fight you tooth and nail. But we see everything from from one end to the spectrum and everything in between. But you should really try to get it reevaluated and see if you can bump those numbers up.
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate the advice. The only issue I have now is I know for a fact, because I tore out some of the wall because I got tired of waiting, and now I got mold.
Yeah, well, here's one thing you can do. If it's wet, you got to get it out, because if you don't get it out, it's going to cause more problems. But just take film and video. Take video and pictures before and after.
I sent it to my insurance company already, actually.
Yeah.
It's just I'm tired of them not helping me here, and my house is going backwards.
Now, here's the thing. The mindset change. They're not there to help you. They're not. You're going to have to set the damages yourself, and you have to play ball against them. Don't think of them as your teammate. Think about them as you looking across the line of scrimmage and you want to knock their head off, okay? I don't mean that. I meant that figuratively.
Oh, I appreciate y'all time, sir. And like I said, that's the one thing. I've documented everything and all. It's just frustrating because the adjuster seemed to be a good adjuster. But what pissed me off, he didn't put nothing about the water readings on the meter. See, he said they don't want him to do that. Well, why bring it into my house?
Let me tell you this. He may have done it, and the desk adjuster may have taken it out.
Right.
And a lot of them do. It's called a write down. We call it a write down.
Yep.
And a lot of them do write it down because there's a lot of complaints saying, "Oh, I had my roof replaced. They would tear out this sheetrock. My floor would be replaced, and they get back their adjustment, and you get a patch for your roof. You get paint and not a tear out on your sheetrock, and then your floors are just clean." That's what happens. They'll send it back to home office, and home office will knock it. And they're basically
and they were good about all.
And they're basically saying, "Come back and prove it." And,
right.
And the percentages are, a lot of people will just throw their hands up and say, Not going to do that.
It wears you out. I agree.
All right. So,
But look, I appreciate your time, guys.
Albert, I wanted to thanks for the call, Jerry. I wanted to follow up with you, Albert. When you said that the insurance companies have to get money out on the streets and the time periods for that, if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, so with there are two separate things. First of all, they have to initiate claims adjustment typically within 14 days after you file a claim with your agent. And so with a catastrophe of this size, they have 30 days to do so. I think for the most part, in the first 30 days since August 29th, adjusters have been out. They've initiated claims adjustment. They've set up appointments, and they've come out to do an adjustment. And then at that point, once they have that claims summary prepared by whether it's an inside adjuster that works for that company or whether it's a TPA, it's a third-party administrator or a third-party adjuster, they will go out, and once they have that, then they have 30 days to pay you what is considered an undisputed amount. And so at that point, it's upon you to then turn around and say, hey, look, I tried to get it done for this. I got a contractor that came out and, it's about 50% too low. And here is why, because we're pricing materials, we're doing this, we're doing that. Keep in mind that the vast majority of these companies used an Xactimate program that was updated. And you can't use September numbers because you're in September. We don't have those numbers yet, right? So they had to use the August numbers. Well, the August numbers were probably still a little bit elevated just from COVID and the lack of some materials here and there, but they were not as elevated as they are now, especially in the area. And so if you look at your summary, and not all of them do it, some of the company programs don't have that declination at the top, but if it is an Xactimate, you will see LANO 08 2021, and that means Louisiana, New Orleans, August of 2021, and so those are the numbers that they would be using in the Xactimate program. And so they're saying, no, we used updated numbers in September. Well, on September 6th, when this guy, previous caller got his estimate, there's no way they can factor in and calculate, run and change that program because they don't have all the numbers yet because you're only 6 days into the month. So the numbers are going to be lower. And so see what month they use to evaluate your claim, and then bring it back again, get a contractor, get an adjuster to come out and say, yeah, no, we've done it, rerun it, and we plug the numbers in based on today, what you can get done post-storm, and it's substantially higher.
Yeah, and really the mindset is, and I think with the last caller sort of we discussed, is he's saying, I thought the insurance company is going to help me. After the readjustment point period, they're not. They're going to say the ball's in your court, and you're going to have to advance the ball up the field. We're not going to help you. In fact, we're going to play defense against you. In fact, we're going to run the 46 defense. We're going to run the 46 defense against you in blitz.
Yeah. But some companies and some adjusters will say, listen, if you can't get it done for that, if our adjuster missed something, go out, get it evaluated, send it to it. If it's reasonable, we'll pay it, and they'll pay it. But many won't. And so it's fact-based, case by case. And you don't know what you're getting. And
actually, the best scenario, which most people cannot afford, unfortunately, is to do the repairs and then bill the insurance company later. But that's only about 5% of the people could actually do that. But all right,
because this is what it actually costs, right? So, and I paid it to have it done.
That's right. Let's go to a break. That's Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, Lawyers. We'll be right back after this brief time.
After a weekend of football, it's time to second guess. And nobody does it better than the Cajun Cannon, because he's been there, done that. Join Bobby Hebert and
Okay, I've got Steve, who's the attorney from Texas, and I have Bob from Metairie, who stopped in one more time.
like a pro. Second guess with the two Cajuns, Bobby and Mike.
Steve from Texas, Bob from Metairie.
Till they get tired of talking on WWL.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-4180. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-256-4180 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-4180 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-4180.
Your life, your hopes, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m. It's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Dornice has your game day coverage with choice New York strip steaks, only $9.99 a pound. Tito Vodka, 1.75 liters, for only $29.99. Shop local, shop easy and save at Dornice Food Center.
Family owned, family operated, family service.
Have you heard all these new national chain store ads that claim guaranteed low price? Like it's something new? Well, it isn't. It's just a lot of noise. Oakland Heart has been offering a best price guarantee for decades on the most exquisite diamond jewelry in the region. It's one reason why Gambit readers once again voted us best local jeweler. Apparently being local and honest means something. For 3 generations, we've worked tirelessly at Oakland Heart, driven by our passion to be the best. We've assembled a team nearly 50 strong. Gemologists, diamond buyers, designers, award-winning master craftsmen, each one second to none. And our sales associates are warm, welcoming, knowledgeable, and never high pressure. We're passionate, not pushy. There is a difference. We invite you to come experience the Oakland Heart difference. For finer diamonds and the best price, shop Oakland Heart on Metairie Road. Beautiful in more ways than one.
Did you get all the stimulus money for you and your family? Do you have children and didn't know you could receive monthly child tax credit payments? You can claim your monthly child tax credit payments and missing stimulus payments, even if you don't file a traditional tax return. Visit ssa.gov/EIP to learn how you can apply online. Get the money your family deserves. Visit ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Are you getting the runaround from your Hurricane Ida insurance company?
Is your insurance company not returning your call?
Are you being denied a new roof?
Are you receiving lowball payments from your insurance company?
We can help. Call me, Doug Sunseri, WWL radio host and attorney at Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm in Metairie, or go to our website at idahurricaneclaim.com.
Or on the North Shore, call me, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, at our office in Mandeville at 985-624-9697. We'll show the insurance company who's boss.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
30 years ago this fall, a law professor named Anita Hill testified about sexual harassment at Clarence Thomas's Supreme Court confirmation hearings. Now,
Because of Anita tells the
Okay,
real
Bob
story
just
of what
left, so
happened
we have
and
Steve
what's
from
changed.
Texas.
You'll hear from journalists, witnesses, and activists, and listen in on the first public conversation between Professor Hill and Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. That's Because of Anita, a production of Pineapple Street Studios and The Meteor, out now wherever you get your podcasts.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. That's Terry Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Steve from Texas. Hey, Steve, you're on All Things Legal, Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud.
Good morning, gentlemen.
What you got for us, Steve?
Yes, how are you, gentlemen, this morning?
We're doing great. We're doing great. LSU won. We're doing very well.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny. I'm a licensed attorney in Texas. I do live on the West Bank. Had minor hurricane damage, but I'm okay. But are you aware of any so-called Hurricane Ida aid-related programs that require a large upfront fee to apply for?
None. Not one. In fact, I'd be very skeptical of that.
Yes, this is what I want to tell you. I want to tell you a situation which I encountered last Wednesday. I was driving down Berman into Gretna. I noticed a long line of people in front of a storefront. So I pulled over, went over to see what was going on. And I went up to the security guard there, and I asked him, what's going on here? He said, this is the Hurricane Ida Relief Program. And I said, well, that's interesting. He says, yes, I'll take your name. You have to pay $110, and your name will be called. And I said, is this related to FEMA in any way or the state of Louisiana? He said, no, this is a private program. And I said, well, sir, with all due respect, I am an attorney, and I've never heard of a hurricane or storm-related aid program where you have to pay $110 to apply. He became very abusive. He said, you need to leave the parking lot now. I said, why? This is a public parking lot. He said, no, it's not. I said, if you don't leave, I'll have you arrested and put in jail. He said, well, sir, I happen to be a licensed attorney, and I know that you're not a post-certified officer, and this is a public parking lot, and you are totally out of line. He basically made a threatening move at me, not knowing that I'm a second-degree Dan Taekwondo. I was ready for him, and he started swearing using profanity in front of all these people. Someone came over and pulled him away. I think this is a fraud. I think that a lot of people are being scammed here. I called the local newspaper on the Newsline tip to report this, and no one ever got back to me.
Well,
why don't you call Joey Lapinto's office and have them go check it out, because it sounds to me like a scam, and they're going to get as much money as they can from people, and you won't see them in the parking lot pretty soon.
I think you should.
I
think you should exercise your skills as a Taekwondo. It might have been appropriate to stop it. I'm just kidding.
I was ready.
All right.
I was ready.
No.
I may be in my 60s, but I'm still good.
Okay, but I think what happens is when you have these disasters, there's a lot of scams, and I always tell people if something feels wrong in your gut, walk away, because I think most people are very smart and have good instincts, and if something just feels too good to be true, or something just feels wrong about it, then it's probably best to step away and find out about it.
Yes, but I know this line was literally hundreds of people there, and I think they're all being ripped off, frankly.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, these type of disasters have these, people can take advantage of it. I mean, you see it with contractors, roofers, attorneys, adjusters. Yeah. I mean, on every level. So, thank you for letting us know, and it does sound like it was something, like Albert said, if, I'd report it to Joe Lapinto. Joe's fantastic. I mean, Joe's a fantastic sheriff in Jefferson Parish, and he will.
By the way, you gentlemen do a fine job. You're doing a lot of good for the public out there.
All right. Well, we should.
Yeah. Report it to them. They'll go out there and check it out and make sure it's not a scam with, check their permits if they're permitting and anything like that. But I would definitely do that if they're still there. Try to drive by maybe today and call the sheriff's office and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. We need to get it checked out because they're scamming people.
Okay, will do. That's good advice. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the
Albert, I think that's a good segue for you talking about contractors, out-of-state contractors, and what people can do to make sure they're not being scammed as far as their roof and on their renovations.
Well, again, I mean, there's, just the quickest answer is
the phone is clear.
You hear them and they're advertising, and I'm glad that they are. The State Licensing Board for Contractors is advertising and putting the word out there. Buy local is kind of a catchphrase, but in terms of contractors, you want local contractors, because if somebody comes in from Tennessee and they got a crew and they do their work and they're just trying to get as much money as they can get between now and the time that this is all over with, you can bet that they're not familiar with building codes, especially in Louisiana, any Dade County building standards that they have to build to. And the biggest problem you're going to have with it, and I'm telling you, probably 30% of the people that got work done, I would bet probably even more than that, had problems with their contractor. But you know what? They're out of state. And so you're done. You have no recourse whatsoever. So now all of a sudden, they replaced something and didn't do it properly. And you're having issues with it. And, the electrical is not working right. They didn't do the plumbing right. The roof is leaking again. And now you've got to start all over. Sometimes you might have to pull the whole roof off because they didn't prep it right or they didn't flash it right. And so you want to get somebody local. So at least you would have some sort of warranty and some sort of cause of action and claim against somebody local. Because look, if you got to sue somebody from Tennessee for your damages, good luck, because you're out of luck. When there is at least some vetting, when the insurance, when they are licensed with the State Board for Contractors, they're required to post a bond or have, and they're required to have insurance, liability insurance. So if somebody falls off the roof, let me tell you, that's the other big thing. If you get work done, you hire a roofer and they've just got a crew of laborers up there on the roof, they don't have any workers' compensation insurance and they fall off and hurt themselves, you could be liable for the medical expenses and the workers' comp benefits that these people would be entitled to for being injured on the job. So you've got to make sure that they give you a certificate of insurance before you give them any money that shows that they are insured, and I would call the agent on that's listed, because the insurance agent that wrote that policy will be listed on the policy. I would call the agent and double check it, because I've seen them cut and paste and scam dates, cut and paste and scam, just plug their name in on the form, and it looks like it's a legitimate form, and they have no insurance, they have no workers' comp coverage. So double check that with the agent on the form, on the certificate of insurance.
Yeah. We got to
go
to
ahead.
break. I was just going to follow up. We had a case where a contractor was doing work after Katrina. The worker who got hurt was an undocumented worker, so he had to pay his expenses. He was also asserting that he wasn't able to go back to work because he was an undocumented worker, which made the claim into a six-figure claim. And so, it's because he's not legally able to work, which is another issue. But it's very, very, if you don't verify insurance, it can get you in a lot of trouble and drain your life savings. Okay, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers. We'll be right back after this brief comment.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes.
Okay, we're looking at about 6 minutes till the end of the show.
Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BIG870. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code BIG870 to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code BIG870, only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And everything's included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now. Spread your payments over 5 years.
Gentlemen, we just have a call. It's from Richard and Kenner, and it is a tree question.
501c3 nonprofit focused on shattering the stigma that surrounds mental health, and they want to give you a platform to share your mental health journey. Visit rickyscompass.org today and shatter the stigma that surrounds mental illness.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently. I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
We're going live after Duck, Duck, Go.
Hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures. Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million.
You're going to have another 6 minutes
Now
to
try
cover.
Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Your life, your hopes, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m. It's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oakwin Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Okay, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, Weekend Lawyers, all things legal. Albert had a best-selling book called Treatise on Trees. Now he's going to write up a follow-up on a Hurricane Ida version. It'll probably be on Amazon, probably never. But anyway, let's go to phone lines because we got Richard from Kenner. He's got another tree question. So, hey, Richard, you on All Things Legal.
Hey there. Good morning. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it, but not both of you. I have a follow-up question about trees, and I've been hearing conflicting information here. I'm concerned about who's legally responsible for removing a tree that falls on someone else's property. I'm not asking about who's responsible for the damages the tree causes, but who's responsible for getting the tree removed or paying the cost of getting it removed, assuming it was a healthy tree, that is purely an act of God. I do think that maybe it's a case out of the Third Circuit that says the landowner can be responsible in some cases. I mean, the person who owned the tree. But what's the general rule there?
The rule that, to my understanding, is that the person whose tree, who the tree belongs to, where the trunk and the roots are on their property. Again, the damage might be an act of God, so we don't have to pay the damages, but it is your tree, it's your property, and so your property is in someone else's yard. You have the duty to remove that property from that person's yard, and so I think the Third Circuit case is on point, and I want to say there's one out of the Fourth Circuit or the First Circuit. I think it's the First Circuit on the North Shore, but anyway, that basically the same holding is that. You've got to get your property out of someone else's yard. Now, you don't have to pay the damages because from a liability standpoint, we're going to give you the act of God defense, but you still have to go get it removed from that person's yard.
Okay, I appreciate that, but I'm assuming though that most insurance policies will pay for removing the tree as regardless of who it belonged to. I didn't say that very well, but if my neighbor's tree falls onto my house or my yard, my insurance company usually will pay to have it removed. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
In fact,
and then my insurance company might go after the neighbor, maybe.
Well, and so the question is, and was there an occurrence that would trigger the policy coverage, right? And so if there is an act of God defense as to the tree falling, then from the insurance company standpoint, there was no occurrence that would trigger, they're going to argue that there was no occurrence that would trigger coverage for us to go pay to have the tree removed from someone else's property. Not for the damages, because we know that if the act of God defense will protect them there. But in terms of the insurance company being responsible for that, I don't know the answer to that. And that's something that may need to get litigated. And the fact is, the problem is you're only looking usually at about $2,500 to $5,000 to have, large trees removed from somebody else's property, cut up and hauled away. So I don't know that they're going to get litigated, and I don't think the insurance companies want to litigate it to the Court of Appeal and have a bad ruling and then be stuck with that from here till eternity. So, but I would certainly be worth running it up the flagpole. Hey, look, give me your insurance company's information. I'll file a claim with them. If they pay off, great. If they don't, I'm going to need you to pay to have this tree removed.
Okay. Yeah, I was referring to filing a claim with my own insurance company, assuming it was my neighbor's tree, but it fell on my house.
If it's on your house,
my insurance company will pay for both the damages and will pay for removing the tree if I'm
correct.
That's my understanding. Okay, very good. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Subject to deductible. Correct.
Albert, we've got about a minute and a half left. What do you have any general advice at this stage of the insurance claims for homeowners who just received their claim and not happy with it, or their claim summary?
Look, find a reputable contractor, a local reputable contractor that will actually bid to do the work and get a full estimate from them. If you can find one that will put it in Xactimate format and really itemize it, even better, because they can compare apples to apples that way. And then send a supplement and send it, get the adjuster's email address, which you likely have, and send it via email. So there is a record of you sending it, the date it was sent, document.
We have 1 minute.
The photographs. Here's the estimate. Here's the estimate from the roofer that doesn't just say, hey, I'm going to put a roof on for $10,000, but a little comment in the estimate that says the seal tabs are lifted, the granules are eroded, this, and this. All of these things happen, and this is why you need a new roof, instead of just, hey, we're going to put a new roof on for you. And so the more detail, help them help you, right? And if they don't want to help you, help us as attorneys down the road help you by making sure you sent what is called satisfactory proof of loss. So the more documentation, the more photographs, the more information you provide to them as to why their summary is wrong and yours is correct, the better.
Okay. Thanks, Albert. We'll be back next week on All Things Legal. Call us at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304 if you have any questions. We'll see you next week on All Things Legal.
Home of the Saints and LSU. WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.